FCLPs at an outlying field can be flown in two ways. First, as a local flight flown from the unit's home base, planning to either bingo home after the CQ period, or as an out and back where the student flies a CQ period, lands, refuels, flies a second CQ period before returning to home base that same day. Or as a deployment for several days where the student flies several CQ periods as part of a training syllabus, usually culminating in several periods at night. Pilots require both day and night field qualifications prior to earning qualifications at the boat. The first method is used by fleet aviators who already have their basic qualification and now just need to satisfy currency requirements. The second method is used primarily for students getting their initial carrier qualification or fleet aviators getting their initial qualification in type. Here in DCS on the Persian Gulf map, Al Dhafra is our home base and Liwa Air Base to the southwest is our outlying field. When arriving at Liwa Air Base, contact Liwa Tower at 10 miles with your lineup on a frequency provided in the flight brief. If the LSO is on station, he will respond on that frequency. You will be instructed to Charlie now or to hold overhead. Case 1 procedures apply. When given a Charlie and nobody on the ball, report the initial. Brake at the upwind numbers or on interval when the aircraft ahead is at your 7 o'clock. Note, there is a radio tower 2 miles west of the field. It's 1,190 feet MSL high. That's 790 AGL. Keep in mind we are flying a 600-foot AGL pattern. There is no TACAN at Liwa Air Base. Waypoint 1 is located in a position similar to where the TACAN would be if on the ship. The final bearing is 308 degrees, the duty runway is 13, and the field elevation is 400 feet. The FCLP pattern is flown at 1,000 feet MSL or 600 feet AGL. It's a standard Navy rectangular pattern. The downwind heading is 130 degrees. Turn abeam Frenchie's Restaurant, which is off the southeast end of the field. You are abeam when Frenchie's and the barn are all lined up, as shown in the diagram. Okay, here I am. I'm going to start up the jet. So battery on, APU on, and because of the noise, I'm going to bring the canopy down. Okay, and now that the light's on, I'm going to start the right engine. Okay, get to about 20 RPMs and then bring the throttle around the horn. Okay, it gets to about 30 RPMs and the APU goes out. And then when it gets to almost idle, about 60 or so, then the generator will pop online, which will charge the battery and the light will go out. Okay, I'll bring the lights up so I can see what's going on.
Roll left,
and
roll
then
left.
I will start the ground alignment. And I'm going to turn on the radar altimeter and I'm going to set the oops, let's go here first. Let's turn these on so I can see things. Turn the displays on, turn the radios on, go to button 4 for ground and tower. And make sure that the standby attitude indicator is warmed up. And then set the altimeter setting to 2975. There it is, right there. Boom. And let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and run this up to about 25. That'll be my bingo going into Al Dhafra if I have to. And we'll set this to FCS so we can see all that stuff. And we're going to go to HSI over here. I already know what my ordnance load is. I checked that on pre-flight. Looks pretty good. We'll go to waypoint 1, which is just next to the LSO shack. And let's go ahead and start the number 1 engine. Let's go ahead and turn the lights up here while we're over here. And we'll get the O box here in just a second. Okay, there's RPMs are up. And light it off. Bring that throttle around the horn. Okay, let's put that in field. Set the flaps to half for takeoff. Okay, the generator will come online when it gets up to about idle. And there it is. Okay, that's because we have to check the flight controls, so we'll set the trim for takeoff. And that light went out, obviously. And let's see, we got an OK, so we can go ahead and go to nav on our INS. Get rid of the map because we're not going to need that for this flight. And let's go ahead and turn the TACAN on. We'll go to 96 since there's no TACAN here at this field. But that's the TACAN we'll use if we need to divert for some reason. Put the data link on so we can keep abreast of what's going on around us. Turn the IFF on. Radio 4. And I want to put the imaginary BRC, or the BRC that would be if we were at the ship, to 319 and hit enter. And let's go ahead and put that right there. And just put that there. 319. Okay. All right, what else? Let's go ahead and go to radar on the altimeter switch. And let's see if we need... Our fuel's already light loaded. And I think we're just about ready to taxi. I think so. That's it. So let's go ahead and take that off. I'm going to put the nose gear steering in high gain. Salute Luther. And off we go. Okay. All right. Okay, there's one more thing I want to do. I want to clean up my HUD a little bit. Since this is a FCLP pattern, I do need these angle of bank things, so I can't declutter using the switch, but I can declutter to get rid of that clock on the HUD by going here, select that, and then just turn this back off again. And while I'm taxiing in a straight line, I don't need high gain nose wheel steering, so I'm going to get rid of that. Less likely to get put in a horrendous input. Okay, there's the LSO shack. And we'll just check to see if the LSOs are on station yet. Yeah, they're over there. Okay, good. All right, so getting ready for takeoff, so I'm going to go ahead and arm my seat here. We're close enough. And just to double check, I got my anti-skid on. And hook bypasses in field. We're not using that today, the hook that is. And let's see, I think we got just, I already got that switch. I think we're good. But we'll stop here just to be sure we got it right. Now I'm not sure what frequency we're going to use for the LSO when we actually do this multiplayer. Right now I have button 4 in there because that's the standard field ground tower frequency. So I'll use that for now. But when we actually do this with a real LSO, we probably should have a separate frequency. I don't need any of my ECM gear right now, so I'm going to leave that off, declutter the HUD a little bit. And we got the proper elevation, standby gyros set. I like having that screen up. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the SA page. And I'm also going to run the range down because we're going to be here in the pattern the whole time. And so I'll have that. Okay, not sure why that's not on. Let's see. Waypoint. There we go. I don't know how I got rid of that, but I did. Okay. And tower, FIST 407, taking runway 31 for departure to enter the FCLP pattern. And on multiplayer, what we do is check in with the LSO, because during an FCLP period, the LSO has control of the pattern. Okay, so off we go. And you can see that I'm flying over the box, the carrier box on the runway. Take off, and I'm going to leave the gear down in flaps because we just want to burn some gas. Right now I'm a little heavy. I want to get down to about 69, so I'm going to go up in here for a while. And just keep the airplane dirty. Gear down, flaps currently at half, so I'm going to go to full. And they're now at full. And I would normally at the ship put the hook down here, but I'm going to leave it up since we're here at the field. Don't want to drag a hook. And I think when we get to about 70, I'm going to go ahead and I think I don't even have to wait for that. Just down to 71 is probably good enough. Okay, and I want to start working my trim back as well. Got plenty of time to get back to altitude. Okay, there's 10 degrees nose up. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and start my turn back. I think we are going to be just fine now. Okay, there is something to be aware of here in the pattern, and that's the tower over there. It is, I'm going to go ahead and uncage that so that it's in the center of the screen. Anyways, that tower is 790 feet high, and we're only at 600 feet in the pattern, so obviously it's a hazard for the FCLP pattern if we get really wide. But you can see we're well clear of it. It's over there pretty good ways, but if anybody's real disoriented, they could probably smack right into that, so just be careful. And a good downwind heading for the FCLP pattern is about 130 degrees. I would stay on the towards the 140 side as opposed to the 120 side, just so you're not too tight. And you can see where I am in relation to the road down below us, or the power lines. Pretty much over it. There's the runway, and now we're just looking for what our turn point is. As we talked about in the brief, we want to turn a beam Frenchies, and that's when Frenchie lines up with the barn. And you can see the barn there over there on the edge of the field there to the southeast. And here's Frenchies on this side of the field. And when those two things line up, we're good. I guess I got a little bit low here. Now the ground is not flat, so it looks flat, but it's not quite flat. Okay, there's the lineup, 600 feet, and I'm going to go right to about 27.5 degrees. I don't want to start descending very much, just very little, because I want to be 500 feet or better at the 90, which is my heading at that point will be 050. So I'm already I'm getting a little low, so I'm going to keep from descending any further, really. And now I'm going to start. So I want to be a little bit on the high side. That puts me in a little bit better position. So now I could take a peek at the runway. And what I'm looking for, ooh, that's real early. So I'm going to overshoot here big time. So we want to wrap it up just a little bit here. Okay, that worked out okay. And now it's really hard to see the ball with this field OLS. So you just kind of have to put the runway at about 3 degrees and then put the flight path marker right on top of it. And then keep the center up, the runway center line underneath you. And then watch for the ball. It'll come on here pretty shortly. You'll be able to see it. But you're pretty close. There it is. And it looks pretty close to on glide slope. And just sort of fly it all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Just a tad bit low on that one, a little bit right of the center line. And I'm not trimming, I'm just manhandling the stick here, because once I slow down, I'll be pretty close to my on-speed trim setting. And on the upwind leg here, you want to get turn no sooner than 400 feet, or when you have your interval. Since I'm the only one in the pattern right now, they're behind my own interval, so I've got that all scored away. So 400 feet minimum AGL, 400 feet AGL before starting your turn downwind, and just finish the climb in the turn. And that should give you plenty of time to set up. So just trying to fly on speed, all trimmed up. Now the ATC auto throttle does work, but it's real sensitive, and so it's not the best thing to use during a case 1 approach or a case 1 landing. It's too dynamic for that. It's much better to practice good technique using manual throttle. Oops, a little high here, so let's work our way back down. And there's 130. Don't want to go any more than that. And we got plenty of time to make those corrections. And let's get back up to right there, 600 feet. That's perfect. 130 degrees. That's perfect. Looking for Frenchies in the barn. Okay, looks like we're getting there pretty close. There's Frenchies in the barn. 27.5 degrees. Just a little bit of a descent, not much. And again, you're shooting for that 500 feet at the 90. And you should do this all instruments, so you shouldn't be peeking over there at the landing area yet. So we're pretty close to being on altitude here. 500 feet right there, maybe just a little bit low. Let's take a peek. Now the CDI for the needle there should come off at about north. If it comes earlier, then I'm going to be a little bit of an overshoot, but I don't think it's going to overshoot too much. I think looks like it's working out pretty good. Yeah, I think it's working out great. Okay, let's just okay, there we go. Center line, 3 degrees. Remember that, 3 degrees on the HUD, and then just keep driving it in. What you think looks good, and pretty soon you'll be able to see the ball. There it is. And placement of the flight path marker is everything in these things, but fly that ball. Fly that ball, fly that ball, fly that ball, right down to the center ball. Okay, that looked like a 3-wire to me. Okay, you just full power, accelerate, climb, and climb to 400 feet, like I said before. And that's basically the FCLP pattern. Now you can enter like I did here from the airfield, or if you happen to take off from El Dafra, just fly down here and enter the break at 800 feet AGL, which at this field would be 1200 feet MSL. So just be aware which one you're using. Okay, try one more here, and this will be a full stop. One thing I haven't been doing is call the ball, so I'll call the ball this time just because I should be anyways. Okay. A little bit high, working it off, coming up on 130 over top of the power lines and the road. And a little low, let's add a little bit of power, climb back 10 feet or so, looking for Frenchies in the barn. There's the 600 feet.
Just ease it back. We don't want to come inbound a little bit. 130 on the heading. A little high. There's Frenchies. Might start to turn. Okay, that 10 feet is easy to make up in this turn. I've already done that. Probably descended too fast. We'll see. 40 degrees to go, and I got 40 feet, so 10 degrees. 10 feet for 10 degrees. But not too bad, not too bad. Okay, there's 510 feet at 50. Not bad. Let's take a peek. Turn looks good. Okay, what I like to do is be right around 390 or so as I enter as I roll wings level in the groove. Now there's the CDI cutting across. And okay. Okay, and I'm going to be a little bit high here, just a little bit. So I'm put a little bit of rate of descent there. We made up for that real easy. Roll wings level.
407 Hornet ball 4.8.
And not too bad. I guess it's about 350 wings level.
Roger ball.
Okay, about 3 degrees on the HUD. Waiting for that ball. There it is. Center line. Keep that flight path marker right there.
I'll go high.
Keep it all the way down. And remember, this is a full stop, so we'll just full stop here. Oh, a little high. Ooh, that may have been a bolter. Who knows? Okay. A little laggy there. Interesting. First time I've seen that in a while. Okay, now we're rolling out. Okay. Okay, and this is a pretty good turn here, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the high gain now that I'm taxi speed. And we'll turn off here. Little punch on there. Turn off. And once I'm straight again, I'm going to go to low gain on the nose wheel steering. And now that we're on the deck, I'm going to go ahead and safe my seat. Because if something happens at this point, I just want to stop the airplane and climb out. Okay, however, for taxiing around the hangar, in just a second I'm going to put the high gain back on again. Just to make that tight maneuvering a little bit easier. In real life, I'd be talking to ground now, and they would give me permission to taxi back here. Okay, high gain's coming back on. And we'll turn back into the line here. And we're on the hangarettes to the right. In fact, you can see Luther standing over there. And there's Louis at this end doing the making sure I don't clip a wing on the side of the hangarette. Okay, here we go. Taxi into the hangarette. Just stay on that center line. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and set my parking brake. And I'm going to go ahead and get ready to shut down. Whoops. Okay. Let's go ahead and raise the flaps. And let's turn the screens off. And run the brightness down. Let's see. I'm going to turn this off. Okay, and we're going to kill that, kill this. And shut down the left engine. Okay, and raise canopy and shut down the right engine. Okay, and I think the flaps have drooped, so I'm going to go ahead and match the handle with the flaps. And let's go ahead and turn the battery off. And that's it, folks.